Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Italy. TCR is returning to Monza for round 7 out of 12. And hopefully these guys have not had too much wine before this race, because it is going to be an intense showing of skill, precision, strategy, and the ability to set up a fast race car. And right now we are on board with a fast race car crossing the start-finish line to start an outlap. Round 7 out of 12 here at the Monza circuit in Monza, Italy. Only 11 turns on this racetrack, but it is 5.793 kilometers in length, and we got 14 people tonight. My name is Camden Luca, doing lead commentary tonight, and I will take you through the entire way from start to finish. And let's see if we can get to the finish without having any sort of issues. Right now, you are looking at the reserve of Airborne Tiger 37 in that Alpine as he goes through the double right-hander of turns 6 and 7 there. Airborne Tiger's first start of the season. And another reserve who is returning tonight to the grid, and he is also in the Alpine, is none other than former TCR champion Andy Wu, making a return tonight to the TCR grid. And for those who are quite well versed in their TCR history, you would know that Andy Wu is a former champion dating way back in the day. So good to see him back on the grid. And Airborne Tiger, the first one to put in a lap, a 1:19.557, and Colby just said, you know what, I'm going to take your 2 seconds of glory, literally, and eclipse it with a 1:18.5. And as a matter of fact, wow, Colby, in one lap, my friend, you have just broken Mebi's TCR qualifying lap record from season 12. Well, you had it. B-Tom provisional pole, a 1:18.339. That was short-lived for Colby, as there's B-Tom. He's taken the Connor Zilich route there through the shortcut, and he goes up to the top of the board. Well, we got 14 people tonight, and B-Tom is one of them. He did get back on the top step of the podium last week after losing his win in Australia because D-Swish's penalty got removed. B-Tom initially won that race. D-Swish ended up snatching it from him. And B-Tom, 5 for 6, though. He did win last week in Britain in that crazy reverse sprint event. You guys have to go check that out if you didn't already. Well, wait till after the race, though. You know, don't skip this one, because this one will be just as good, probably. This track is one to look for when it comes to excitement, when it comes to crazy starts, and you know, let's take a look at the corner that will produce that crazy start. The chicane of turns 1 and 2 that JMB is going through right now, and JMB, as a matter of fact, just put up a 1:18.656. Chad, what's going on, man? Ooh, he thinks that Andy Wu is washed. Well, Andy Wu maybe will have something to say about that. Should we place any bets, Chad? Is Andy Wu going to get on the podium tonight? You're rooting for GTR? I've noticed that Lion's got a pretty big fan base, the king of the jungle, as we call him. I think if we did have a most popular driver in TCR, I think Lion would probably get that. I see plenty of people in the chat rooting for him before the race, most notably Sensation. Mr. Sensation usually comes in and gives Lion some support. Twitch Andrew 12, good to see you on the Twitch side of things, believe it or not. Good to see you there in the Twitch chat. And right now, B-Tom's still top of the board. 11 of the 14 guys have put in a lap right now. Pardon my French. Well, actually, pardon my German. 11 of the 15 now, as we have an appearance from my former teammate, P.D. Raikkonen, the lone German on the TCR grid this season. And that makes it 15 people, which is good because the last couple weeks it's been a little low for attendance, so we're getting back up there, and I think Raikkonen's actually going to maybe troll us a little bit here. He's not actually going to go out on those tires, right? Mahmoud coming in the pits. I want to talk about Mahmoud for a second, and I think this is a good segue to get into the points, but Mahmoud has been extremely solid this season. One of the most consistent drivers in TCR, and he always has been consistent, but this season he's definitely stepped it up a notch. 2 podiums already. We kind of have a rule between us that I don't put him on my podium predictions, because whenever I do, he tends to crash out, or not crash out, but you know, he tends to, something happens to Mahmoud, and he doesn't quite finish on the podium whenever I pick him. So, but that is a good segue into the point. Ahead of Mahmoud right now is B-Tom. 5 out of 6 races this season he has won, and he has a whopping 153 points in just 6 events this season. Great stuff there from the 7-time TCR champion and 54-time winner, looking for win number 55 today. Maybe he could get that done. GTR Lions, 2nd in points. He did win the sprint race in Silverstone this past week, so a good little pat on the back for the king of the jungle. 74 points for Lion. And then this is where Mahmoud comes into play. 67 points for the Bahrainian driver. And rounding out the top 5, we got JMB in 4th place with 63, and D-Swish in P5 with 62 points. So that's your top 5 in drivers. I would go over the top 5 in constructors, but Ferrari has a 147-point lead right now. So, I mean, I don't think there's much to talk about there. Ferrari has been on a roll, and it's safe to say they're going to, I'll say this now, and then they won't show up the rest of the season probably, but they're definitely in play to get this Constructors' Championship. You're going for Airborne on the podium, and Andy is going to finish 6th. That's mean. Well, I mean, what I got to say, though, is Airborne, you got some high expectations now. It's funny. I mean, look at this. They're right together on track. They're 8th and 9th on the leaderboard. It's just the way I played it out. And, you know, maybe they're setting this up here for a little slipstream down the front stretch, and take a look at this. I think this is exactly what they're doing. Good stuff here by the reserves. Whoa! That was almost too close for comfort, as Andy Wu got every ounce of that slipstream, and he definitely had a good first sector there, as he is approaching the end of the first sector right here. In the turns 4 and 5, and you know what, we'll do a lap with Andy Wu just because Chad's in the comments, you know, kind of going against him, maybe just to see what Andy Wu can do. Maybe Andy Wu can prove him wrong, but you're engineering right now. Oh, all right, interesting. I told them they could pick either the Alpine or Haas tonight because both those cars were fully available, and they both went for the Alpine, and I think that makes sense now looking at it. And whoa, we got to take a look at this. Just shattering the provisional pole by probably half a second. B-Tom 7/10 up now on Colby. Here comes Andy Wu. Can Andy Wu get the track record? Well, he just hit a 117, probably not, but Andy Wu does improve a little bit, up to P8, a 119.528. 119.528. F1 Nerd, haven't talked about him yet. Ooh, you got to talk about Chargers, though. To the finish line, Chargers P6, and you know what? Chargers was in for a better run last week. He was looking for a P5, disconnected in the last couple laps, wound up with a P6, so maybe looking for a little redemption tonight, but Chad, I do want to point out that if you are looking to win something tonight, the XP award is up for grabs, and on the YouTube side of things there, you can see the little XP icon there. The more messages you send, the more XP you get. And the longer you stay in the chat and send messages, the more XP you get. So if you want to win some participation points tonight, then go for it. But I think Colby is looking to win some real points tonight. Let's take a look at Colby here as he comes through the end of Sector 1 into turns 4 and 5. This is super difficult there. It's so easy to get on those turtles of the curbs. And he's headed through this double right-hander section here, turns 5 and 6. And you see he kept it in 5th gear there, and Raikkonen is out before he's even begun. That is quite odd. You know, maybe the wet tires weren't the strategy, you know. How far behind is he? 9.7 seconds. Yeah, maybe the wet tires aren't the way to go. I'm not a weatherman, but that's not the tire to be on right now. And you know what, Raikkonen? Just because of that, and I know, you know, it's just qualifying. It's not a big deal, but I got to do this at some point today. I'm going to do it right now. Oh, a 127 on wets in the Italian heat as Colby 118.1 on the board. Mahmoud P4. He jumped up a handful of spots there, up in the top 5, and right now he is still about a second back, and I think it just shows the pace that Colby and B-Tom have right now, and Colby is going to come back in the pits if he can make it there. Cutting the grass along the way, helping out these Italian track workers, and, yeah, taking some work off of their spaghetti plate. D-Swish to the line, 118.265. Our Australian Grand Prix winner from 2 weeks ago. It was his 3rd career win here in TCR. And you know, like, I don't root for any specific person, but I'm glad that D-Swish got that, because initially, with the penalties that were handed out during that race, D-Swish lost to B-Tom by 58 thousandths of a second, which isn't the only time that he initially had a photo finish. He lost to F1 Nerd in a sprint race by 7 thousandths of a second in Australia. So it was looking like he was going to lose 2 races in a row there by the hair of his chinny chin chin. But thanks to penalties, he ended up getting that one back, and he ended up winning Australia a couple weeks ago. So D-Swish, the only one to dethrone B-Tom so far this season. And, well, based on his pace right now, I'm not going to rule anything out. And that's something I'm going to try. Knock on wood. I've got wood in front of me on this wooden table right in front of me. I'm going to try that. Maybe that's going to fix things. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to... I'm going to do that for my podium prediction. When I do that tonight, I'm going to knock on wood for every pick that I insert. And we'll see how many of them that I get correct in the end. If you don't watch TCR on a regular basis, just know that I'm the king of the commentators' curses. And I'm not just saying that lightly. I really am. And you can ask anyone in TCR. But I think B-Tom is, knock on wood, going to go for another TCR qualifying lap record. And he blew it out of the water. The previous one was a 118.5 set by Mebi in Season 12. And 8 seasons later, he is at the top of the board, and he's looking to eclipse the lap that he put down. And we're going to go on board with the Ferrari driver here around the circuit, and we'll see what he can do. Chad's going to be here all night. Awesome. Oh, you're Kitten Petter. You're the new addition to TCR. Welcome. Yeah, no, I would love to get you in the booth. It's just when you asked about it, it was too close to the race, and you know, I hadn't met you before. I wasn't just gonna throw some random guy off the street into the booth. Although we did that with Seafreeze a few times, but this is looking like a pretty good lap for B-Tom so far. He's about 2/10 to the good on his lap right now, and that would put him at around a 117.6, but he's got to get through Parabolica. And he just went through Ascari. All right, Raikkonen. Yeah, saving the best for the race, right? Last the first challenge, question mark. To the line, B-Tom 0% on the battery, and he puts up a 117.566. That is a new TCR qualifying lap record. And, man, I don't know if anyone's going to beat that. We'll see what Colby can do here. Closest one to him, and D-Swish, the only other guy within a second of B-Tom. I don't know, though. I mean, that's a really good lap by B-Tom. We'll see if anyone can beat that. Through the double right-hander here. Let's see what Colby can do. And we'll take a look at his delta here at the end of Sector 2, going into Ascari. Let's take a look. Oh, it has not been a good lap for Colby. He's used a lot of the battery, and he's invalid. So that will do it for his qualifying. I don't think he can get back to the finish line in time. That will do it. He's going to come back in the pits. And let's see who finishes up laps. I think Gio got to the finish line, couldn't start another lap. He did get ahead of Raikkonen, so Raikkonen, your last to first challenge. Well, if you want to do a last to first challenge, you don't have to. No pressure. I didn't mean to scare you away. Airborne's up for the challenge, though. 119 flat for him. And we'll see what his teammate can do here as Chargers to the finish line in the Mercedes. Stays in P9. And let's see what Andy Wu can do. He's invalid. GTR Lion to the finish line up to P5. Who's next? I think that is JNB. He's done. He is not putting in a lap. Capitan is done. Truth to the finish line. He improves, but does not improve any positions. This is who we got to look for, though. D-Swish through Parabolica to the finish line. Does he have what it takes here to get up to pole position? Not quite, but he does improve by the hair on his chinny chin chin. And that will do it. B-Tom, pole position. Only the 4th pole of the season. And I say that because in the first 6 races, B-Tom's got 5 wins. In the first 6 races, he only had 3 poles. So B-Tom's first pole, actually, in a month. Mahmood got pole in Australia. Lion got pole in Britain. And we had an off week before those 2 races. So B-Tom back on pole position for the first time in a month. And we'll see if he can stay there. And you know what? He's in the car. He's in the Italian Ferrari. If there's any pressure to win a race, it's this one. And we'll see if he can do it. I am looking for that last to first, though, Raikkonen, if you're listening. Raikkonen, if you get a last to first today, I will give you $10. I'll give you $10. You have to win, though. This isn't a last to podium thing. You got to win. And I will Venmo you. Do they use Venmo in Germany? I will Venmo you $10 if you do a last to first. Question is, though, I know B-Tom's pace is really good right now, but this start here at this track is freaking crazy. You guys are going to want to tune in for this one. I think it's going to be nuts. And we'll give them about a minute to get their strategies in, and then we will get this show on the road. It's always a last to first when you race, Raikkonen. So what about the previous 15 times you've raced TCR? I mean, I didn't say that. Sensation, welcome. Yes, Andy Wu is back, airborne. Are you rooting for Lion? Usually you pull for Lion, but maybe this is a different occasion since we got the two Alpines. All right, time for podium predictions. I'm going to start knocking on wood here, and we're going to get ready for this. I'm going to go Beton P1. I'm going to go... I'll go D-Swish P2. I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Put your podium predictions down in the chat. And then I'm going to go against Colby since he said he was going to be in the booth initially. Wanted to race, so, you know, I'll go against him. We'll go JMB P3. So I got I got to knock on wood. I got B-Tom, D-Swish, and JMB as my podium picks. Let's see who you guys got. I'm curious. Lion will be in third. Okay. Cool. Who's your top two, Sensation? Who do you got in your top two? You know, I do put Lion on my podium, I feel like, a good portion of the time, but, you know, this is one of those races to where I want to see both Ferraris on the podium, so maybe it's a good thing I didn't pick him, but although I did knock on wood for my picks, so I don't know. I don't know. This may not be his day, but you got 4 retirements in the race. Okay, that's a good pick. You know, maybe I should start doing that. Maybe I should start picking the amount of people that will retire. I think it's mean to pick who's going to finish last specifically. So yeah, maybe that's not a bad pick. Gio, by the way, I appreciate you readying us up here. I would like to get to bed at some point, but let's take a look at our tire strategies. I'm curious. Okay, all right. Wow. Okay. Oh my goodness. Gio, did you have too many IPAs before the race, or is this your stepdad again? As we do take a look at our tire strategies, it's about an even split. A little bit more of the reverse strat going on with some hard tires from Colby, D-Swish, but B-Tom starting on the mediums. And, you know, I'm curious if anyone's going to try the two-stop. It is 27 laps. I don't see it happening. The two-stop rarely works to begin with, so, yeah. We'll see. I think the one-stop's probably the way to go. Oh, I'm hearing a report that Airborne has fiery hot lava in his stomach, so that is not good. I remember back when I raced on this game, when I raced in TCR actually, that there were a couple times where I raced hungry, and personally that sucked. I think, hot take, I think that's worse than racing on an upset stomach. Personally, because at least you got food in your stomach, you know, you got some energy there, but when you're running on an empty stomach and you're trying to race, that's hard. But I think B-Tom and Colby, they have full stomachs. They're ready to go. D-Swish taking his time. Maybe he's getting a snack right now, trying to munch some munchies down and, you know. I don't know. I got to ask these guys, what is your pre-race meal? What is your pre-race thing that you eat? Colby's going off to, where are we next week? Miami. Colby's facing Miami right now. He's kind of off to the left a little bit. Mahmood can't park. Chargers can't park. F1 Nerd can't park. Geo can't park. All right. Round 7, we have begun the second half of Season 20, and these guys are going to get ready to brake hard in the Turn 1 here at the Monza circuit in Monza, Italy. 5 red lights on the grid, and it is time to go, go, go! off the line. Colby's unorthodox start does not help him. He's got D-Swish peeking to the outside. B-Tom's got the lead. To the inside he goes, covering up Colby's line. There's contact. Off the track goes D-Swish, and he has to cut the course. And it is calamity there in the back. Gio's gone around. D-Swish got a penalty, and he is off in the grass. Horrible start there for the Williams. And he's got a long race ahead of him now. In the midfield, things look pretty orderly. Oh, a little bit of a mix-up here happening at F1 Nerd. Chargers, 9th and 10th. And that was not good for D-Swish. All the way down to P14. Mahmoud got a spot out of that. As we take a look at our positions gained and lost, D-Swish down 11 spots after that. Just it looked like contact with Colby, and off the road he went. Andy Wu got up 3 spots there off the line. Good start for him, although he's surfing it through Ascari. That could have been really bad. And he's got a face full of F1 Nerd up his bum right now, trying to make a move to the inside. These guys are going to go side by side here in Parabolica. Is he going to give F1 Nerd enough room? He does, but F1 Nerd has to fall back in line. Colby for the lead. Take a look at this. B-Tom going to fight back, though, to the inside. He's got Mahmoud hot on his tail. And these guys are side by side here, headed down into turn 1. Is there going to be contact here? Colby's there. B-Tom, plenty of space for the Red Bull. Very polite there, and you know what? That worked out well for him. Whoa! F1 or F&D Cakes getting the Tokyo Drift out here in Monza. And he's got a face full of PD Raikkonen here, trying to do a last to first challenge. To the inside, he goes for that spot. Is he going to clear his Freeze Foundation teammate? For those who don't know, the Freeze Foundation is kind of a group of people. Doesn't have to be the same car necessarily, but just a group of people in TCR that work together. So they are a part of that cult, as Mahmoud is going for P2 here on Colby. And you know what? Look at the straight line speed by the Aston Martin driver. He's going for P1 here. D-Swish, he might be a hungry hippo right now. He is gaining lots of spots after that incident there on the first lap. And boy, it has not been a good lap for Colby as we take a look at our possible race strategy at the bottom of the screen. And we'll see if we have a two-stopper tonight. I'm not sure. But Mahmoud going to go for P1 right here on B-Tom. He's got it. Mahmoud up in the P1. And Mahmoud, I'm telling you, well, I don't know if I want to tell you. Mahmoud and I have a deal where I cannot commentate or curse him. It starts with a W and has 3 letters. Maybe you guys can figure out what word I'm talking about. It could be in the cards for Mahmoud today, but I'm not going to say the word. As Colby, man, maybe I'm glad I didn't pick him on my podium. Yeah. I just want to say, it's good to see all of you here watching Trinity Competitive Racing Round 7 out of 12. I see you guys on the YouTube side of things. If you guys want to win a prize tonight, the XP award is up for grabs, so whoever can get the most XP will win a big imaginary hug from yours truly. But I think J&B wants to hug B-Tom's rear end right now. He's gaining, but B-Tom gaining on Mahmoud. And oh no, F&D Cakes. Oh no, he just got a 3-second penalty, and you know what that means. We got to give him the police. Nothing gets away from the commentator, and Gio is out. That is in Ascari. And that is a full safety car. Oh, and D-Swish speeds in the pit lane. Oh, from bad to worse, and we got to keep the police around for this one. That's a big one. That's a felony in TCR, you know. 3 seconds, whatever. That's a misdemeanor. This one, though, we're going to have to lock him up, throw him in the slammer, and he might be in solitary confinement for a couple minutes. That was not good. And, yeah, he's still got those 10 seconds because you have to serve the penalty on a following pit stop. You can't get the 10-second speeding penalty and then just come right in and take it out. You got to do it on a different stop. So, well, there's the safety car. F&D going to go by the safety car. He's going to say hi to the safety car, actually. Maybe he's waiting for the safety car. Who knows? Maybe they'll play a little game of cat and mouse. But Mahmoud got by B-Tom just in time. Up in the P1 he went. And that was a great way to start his race. Like I said at the top of the show, Mahmoud P3 in points right now. A little ways back, but if he can beat B-Tom today, that would be huge. That would definitely bring him right back into things, not just statistically, but confidence-wise. That would be huge for the Trinity driver, the lone driver in TCR from Bahrain, and I think he's going to come in and get some tires. And let's see who comes in. Lion stays out, J&B stays out. This is interesting. So B-Tom on those mediums, going to go with hards and try and take those to the end. Oh, and Mahmoud just gets out in front of him. So good stop there by the Aston Martin guys. Getting him out in front. Chad, you're looking at a different... Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you know, if you have an upset tummy before the race, that fire suit may look different after the race. I think you guys can figure out what color it may look like. Anyways, J&B up in P1. He is one of my podium picks, so good to see him up there in P1. This is that time where I do a little intermission. This is kind of what we do during our safety cars, but we have a lot going on in TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing. We have races every Tuesday night at 8:45 Eastern. Next week, we got Miami for the first time in a couple seasons, going back to the Miami Street Circuit. And then we will have an off week, and then we will wrap up the season with the last third of the schedule. Rounds 9 through 12 will be after that. Round 9 will be the TCR Grand Prix in Austria, kind of our Super Bowl event. We have a quick 5-lapper that we do before the feature. It's fun, and that track is going to be really good for a good old 5-lap sprint. So that'll be round 9. Round 10 will be in, I think it's Colby, you're lucky I'm explaining something right now, so I'll keep the police back in the police station, and we will not call them in. Round 10 is going to be in Brazil, and that will be a sprint event. Canada will be round 11, and that will be a 3-tire special, where you have to use all 3 slick compounds during the race. And then season finale, round 12, will be October 21st at COTA. And that will do it for the regular season. We are scheduled to have an all-star race. And I say that because we have not had one in many seasons. We're hoping to bring it back this season. The numbers have been a lot better this season for attendance. So, yeah, that's projected to be on November 4th. And during that time, we will announce the new Hall of Fame ballot. Which, speaking of, we do have a Hall of Fame in TCR. Season 20. The inductions for Season 20 will be announced during the TCR Grand Prix on September 30th. So, plenty of things to look forward to. We do have a Discord, by the way. You know, there's a lot that goes on in the Discord, not just racing. If you want to check that out, you can go on trinitycompetitiveracing.netlify.app, and that will bring you the website. I think we got ourselves another lap here under the safety car, and Raikkonen. Whoa! Safety car just pulled an Uno reverse car. That was the quickest pull-out game I've ever seen from a safety car. And J&B is going to go, and we're back underway. There was quite a stack-up effect here in the midfield. And look what this has done. Airborne going for a spot here on line, side by side. And let's see if he gets this done. Ooh, Lion not going to give him the spot. This could get messy. And Colby, after that penalty, looking to get back up towards the front. Capitan here on F1 Nerd. Airborne ended up staying in P3 after that. Mahmoud, though, trying to get some spots after that pit stop. Oh, he's got the McLaren. Ooh, that could have been bad. And B-Tom's going to take advantage of this. To the inside he goes. And he gets Mahmoud. That is essentially net P1 on track, so that's a big battle right there. And B-Tom got the spot, took advantage of Mahmoud's unfortunate circumstance there, and he took that spot away. We have a caution in Sector 3 for nothing. We have a penalty for J and B, though. That's going to hurt. Oh, I saw someone else get a penalty. You're off the hook, though. I couldn't catch who that was. F&D says, you know what? I want some truth. Show me the truth. I want it. B-Tom. Look at him. Gas it up. Capitan off the road. And he's going to get Capitan. DRS is active. And up in the P5 goes B-Tom. So next on his list is F1 Nerd. F1 Nerd not going to give it to him. I don't think he's going to pull over just yet. I don't know if you guys heard that. Someone outside wants to be a TCR racer as well. And I think things have pretty much settled. Well, Mahmoud says, you know what? No, I'm going to add to the entertainment factor. Here I go. And he's going to have to stay in line for the time being. Down to P7 he goes. And Capitan P6. F1 Nerd P5. And you know what? I got to say, F1 Nerd, former champion, Season 17, Challenger Series champion, back when we had that series. But had a bit of a rough start to this season. The last few weeks, though, he has been really quick. Up in the top 5 consistently. And right now he's down to P6. He might be down to P7 here. Mahmoud gets a good exit out of Ascari. And down to P7, F1 Nerd goes. Sorry, it's because I didn't knock on the table before I said that, so that's why he fell out of top 5 immediately after I said that. And as a matter of fact, he may be losing another spot here to Andy Wu. And we'll see if Andy Wu can make something happen. Up front, though, take a look at this. Mahmoud, Capitan, switching spots. Whoa, dive bomb here by Andy Wu. Not much room for Andy Wu. And Andy Wu, gonna have to wait. Charger's not waiting, though. D-Swish, he might get boxed in, though. He's got enough room. To the inside he goes of the Alpine. Kind of a half-hearted peek, and he peeks back in line for the time being. D-Swish and Colby, two former teammates, actually. Both have 13 seconds in penalties. Both quick drivers, but unfortunately, I think they've got a long night ahead of them. Not going to be a night of sweet dreams. And, ooh, we got ourselves our first helicopter shot of the night. It took 9 laps, but we got it. And right there, you saw B-Tom get P3. Airborne, though, we'll see if he can get the DRS on B-Tom and maybe hold him up. I'm curious, though, as to what's going to happen here between these two teammates, as J and B has checked out, by the way. But we'll see how long that stays the way it is, as B-Tom is coming. Chargers is coming. Well, he tried. Oh, he's coming. Oh, he came. Colby wants some. And D-Switch down to P10. Right now, things are kind of spread out. Kind of single file for the most part. I gotta say, I am impressed by Airborne, you know, coming back here, showing up, and he's up there in P4, so props to him. We'll see, though, what happens, though, with the strategy, too. He is going to have to make a pit stop, and we'll see how that works out for him. But look at this. Big straight line speed. Around line he goes. Lion gonna have to stay in P4 for the time being, and I chuckle because Lion has 4 fourth place finishes. in Season 20. I don't think he wants to make it 5 for 4. Is that a good way to say it? 5 fourth place finishes, 5 for 4. I don't know. I don't think he wants that, though. How did B-Tom get up there so fast? He's already got the lead. Man, J&B had a 1.5 lead on these guys. And B-Tom, I mean, he's already half a second up. Ooh, this could get hairy. Ooh, oh, man, it got hairy. Raikkonen, I hate to break it to you, man, but your last to first challenge is not... you may need to get some more spots here. I don't think you're going to get your $10. It's a long race, though. You never know. If we get another safety car, you never know. I like this shot right here. Good old TV. Well, I did like that shot. Let's get back to it. That nice TV shot there, F1 nerd. Actually, hold on. I'm curious. I want to take a look at warnings. I don't usually do this, but I'm just curious. A lot of warnings in the first couple of laps. B-Tom, okay, that's good to know. B-Tom has 2 warnings. B-Tom doesn't usually get time penalties, but B-Tom has 2 warnings. So this is not over just yet. Depending on what happens. He just got fastest lap, though. So, I mean, if he pulls away fast enough, then you never know. But Mahmoud up to P4. He could get a 2-for-1 special here on Airborne. Yeah, he's got Lion and he's got Airborne now. Mahmoud up to P3. Colby looking to get in the points. He's got D-switch to his outside. These two made contact on the first lap, and they almost made contact there. Man, track position is just so important here. You can see it. Oh, he didn't cut Colby a break. Good save by Colby. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. That was... Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't submit that, but that was... Oh, an insult to injury there for Colby. Yeah. Yeah, I caught you in 4K there, bud. Very brief police siren because I felt bad. Man, even if B-Tom does get a penalty, he's got 3 seconds. And I think Colby is going for a new record. Last season at this track, season 19, Colby got the unofficial TCR track record for corner cutting penalties. He got 66 seconds in penalties here in Monza last season. That is the most at this track, and it might be the most in TCR. We don't have it in the record book for obvious reasons, but yeah. See, Colby, that's the thing. If you speed in the pits, if you keep doing it, you're going to end up serving penalties and getting your 10 seconds removed. So right now, he's back down to 26. Holy smokes, I don't promote this. If you're going to do this, do it if you have no shot and if you're at the back. You know, just don't get in the way of the race. B-Tom looking for career win 55 and win number 6 on the season. And you know, I was doing some math earlier this week. He's got a 79-point lead right now on GTR Lion, and I'm just really curious, how many races is it going to take for him to lock up the championship? Could he clinch the championship with 3 races to go? 3 races to go would be Brazil, round 10 out of 12. That would be 3 races to go. Can he clinch the championship before then? We've got 3 races before then. We got this race. We got next week in Miami, and we got Austria. If he can win all 3 of those races, I think he'll lock it up. And I can't remember the last time that anyone has locked up the TCR championship with 3 races to go. I don't know if it's ever happened. It may have, but it's been a very rare thing if it has happened. So B-Tom is in for a historic season, an 8th championship, which would be more than double of anyone in this league. And Andy Wu just got his name on the naughty list. And Andy Wu, since you're not here to receive this often, here you go. Straight to jail for you. You're getting coal in your stocking. And you're getting locked up and the keys getting thrown away. And I think Colby is gonna, also too, Colby's going for the penalty record here tonight. He could go for the pit stop record, which is held by Chabar with 7 pit stops. Where do I go to see that? He's got 3, I think. I think he's got 3 pit stops. Yeah, he's got 3. It says 3. You need at least 4 more to tie it. And whoa, what's going on here? We got strategy here. JMB in the pits, D-Switch in the pits, F1 Nerd. Oh, he's trying to peek to the inside of Chargers. Not much. Oh, that could have been a double switchback. That could have been really good, actually. Oh, trouble. Colby's off in the grass. So, I mean, it looks like it's over right now. It really isn't. B-Tom's going to have to take these tires 22 laps if he wants to win this race. And Airborne still has the pit. Capitan still has the pit. F1 Nerd still has the pit. And F1 Nerd is in a good old sandwich right now. Chargers, Raikkonen sandwich. I don't know what that would taste like, but I don't want to find out. Chargers likes that 6th position. I've noticed that. He likes to finish there. The last 2 races, he's finished in 6th. So, oh no. Chargers, if you finish 6th for the 3rd week in a row, you've got a 6-6-6 going on, and we may have to put you out back and just put you in a safe location. But I don't know if that's going to happen. He's up to P5 now because Capitan came in the pits. And we'll see what Capitan does right here. Capitan puts on the mediums. Oh, he's got 1 minute in penalties. I think he's going to break it. I would love to see specifically how many penalties he has. And I think, Colby, I think if you get up to 67, 6-7, you got to just call it a day. Don't get disqualified, He's back down to 56. Okay, so he could tie the record here if he gets a 10-second corner cutting penalty. He's got to be careful, though, not to get DQ'd. I love the fact that this is the 2nd season in a row he's done this. He wanted to race tonight because he said he's really good at this track. Did he mean really good at getting penalties? I'm curious. Truth and F&D are having quite the showdown here. And F&D down to P12. He does have penalties, though, so I think he's going to stay there regardless, at least for the time being. Ooh, Raikkonen, he's halfway there. Halfway there in his pursuit for a last to first challenge. And oh, no! Andy Wu, you're not supposed to follow Colby Raikkonen. You're not supposed to do what Colby's doing. Colby is not the example, and they both have at least 10 seconds on their resume. That is really unfortunate. I'm not even going to give you a police siren. Here's the Price is Right Losing Horn Award. Trying to do a last to first, and you speed in the pits, Raikkonen. Oh, man. That is not how things should go. And, I'm really surprised, actually, by the amount of speeding penalties today. We've had at least 3, and we're barely halfway through the race. That's crazy. Colby's doing it intentionally. I think he just tied his record. So all he needs to do here is get 3 more seconds, and he's got... He would have 69 seconds in penalties. That's just... You can't make this up, right? I gotta say, he is dangerously close to getting DQ'd. Whenever you get up to a minute in penalties, oh, but he lost it, because he went back down to 56. He's got it, because he's trying not to, he can't get any more corner cutting penalties, I'm afraid. I think he probably got a warning that he's close to disqualification, as here comes Chargers in the pits. Here comes Airborne in the pits. So those guys do their pit stops. Capitan is going to cycle out in front of Andy Wu. Airborne going to cycle out in front of him. Airborne, what a night for him. You know, he could go for a podium here. J&B's got 6 seconds in penalties. And Airborne is only 9 seconds off of him right now on fresh tires. Then he's got to catch Lion, who's on hards. He could get a podium. It's kind of a long shot, but he's got a chance. If he could put together some good laps here, Chad, your driver could be getting a podium here in his first start of the season. That would be quite the feat. He's got to get past this guy, though, and I'm telling you, this guy does not make mistakes. Whoa, look at this. I like it. I like it. He's got 10 seconds back from B-Tom. He's got 17 seconds up the road from J&B, and J&B's got a penalty. This is a great call by Mahmoud to maybe go for fastest lap right here. He's going to lose a spot here to J&B, but J&B's got a penalty. He's going to lose a spot to Lion. So he's got 7 seconds to J&B. I think he'll get him, but he just can't make any mistakes if he's going to do this. You know, if anything, I would have expected him to take the hards a little bit further and then go on the softs and get a fastest lap on the softs. But yeah, man, whatever floats your boat. And you know, I'm sure B-Tom's going to come in the pits, take some softs. But B-Tom, if for whatever reason you're listening, I don't know what the TCR record is for longest margin of victory. You could go for it. Yeah, at this rate, with your pace, how much you're increasing that gap, you could go for the biggest margin of victory and possibly get the record. I agree, Gio. I do think J&B pitted a bit early there. You know, in this game, the tire wear is worse than what it was on the last game, so a lot of tracks you want to split things even. And Colby just said, you know what, I'm going to take fastest lap away from you, B-Tom. He has fastest lap. He only got it by a couple tenths, so yeah, it's not out of the realm. Ooh. And man, these penalties are crazy today. I was not expecting. What am I doing? I was not expecting this. This is a track where penalties are common, but it's not like a Canada. It's not like an Imola, you know. I don't understand why we've got so many. Why we have so many speeding penalties. The corner exit out of Parabolica coming into the pit lane, you know, it is a bit tricky to get down to pit road speed, but it's not the worst. It's not like Brazil, you know. It's not like we have to try and go into the pit lane at an angle the way you can in Brazil. I think Mahmoud here is looking to get back in the podium here and get a spot on Lion. He's close. I think he'll get him this time on the front stretch. Okay, I just saw the mini-map in the bottom right-hand of the screen. Look at that red dot, and look at everybody else. Oh, no! Oh, he couldn't quite do it. DQ'd from the race, and he was unable to break his record, and oh my gosh, he's going to have to take a car wash after this. My goodness. His record of 66 seconds in penalty from last season does not get broken, and he is disqualified. That goes in the record books, by the way. Like, you know, I know I'm kind of like commentating his corner cutting abilities, I guess, but that is a stat. We do put down disqualifications, and we don't have at least a record book for. Hey, Nightbot, don't yell at Geo for caps. Come on. I can't believe I'm yelling at robots right now, but like that's not that's not a bad thing. We have a Nightbot on the YouTube side of things. We also have one on the Twitch side of things, if you're unaware. And that Nightbot tends to be a little more active than it is on the YouTube, maybe to an extreme, but yeah, it did yell at Geo for using all caps. I would not call the police on him for that, personally, but... So I'm looking at the leaderboard. There's only 5 people that have yet to get a penalty. Those people are B-Tom, Mahmood, Lion, Airborne, and Capitan. You guys have been good so far, but take a look at this. Andy Wu wants a spot here on Capitan, at least on track. He's got 13 seconds. I think he's going to keep P7 because Chargers has penalties as well. We got a leapfrogging game going on here. D-Swish, Truth. D-Swish going to try and get up into the points. He's got less penalties than F1 Nerd. And boy, this would be a disappointing day for RB if none of the guys can get at least in the points. F1 Nerd got off to a good start, but you know he started 10th, gained some spots off the line, but he's back down in P10. B-Tom gonna go for fastest lap. B-Tom could go for a race lap record actually, and that would be a sweep. If he can get a TCR race lap record, which I think he's gonna get it. He would need to get 7/10 up on his best before if he wants to break the record, and that would be a sweep. He would get the qualifying lap record, which he did, and he would get the race lap record. If he were to do that, he's got to get by JMB, though, first. And we've seen this season, actually, in Japan, where B-Tom went for fastest lap, but JMB was in front of him. And here's the thing, though. This is earlier on in the race than what it was in Japan, so J&B might as well fight him here. This is, well, wait a minute. Why did he do hards? I know the softs aren't worth shit in this game, but why would you do hards? Did he not have any mediums? Probably not, right? I don't know. That is interesting. Or wait, hold on. Yeah, he started on mediums. Why would he not? That's really weird. He went from medium to hard and then back on to hard. I don't know if he meant to do that, but nonetheless, here goes B-Tom to the inside. He's got the lead right back. No, Gio, he started on the mediums. I remember that. He started on the mediums, went to the hards, and now he's going to finish on the hards. You know, obviously he's doing this for fastest lap. I'm going to tell him in the interview, one of these races, and it's crazy I'm saying this, but like, one of these races where he has such a big gap, it happens more times than not. He should just stay out there and just see if he can get the margin of victory and see if he can break the record. I don't know what the record is, but we'll see if he can get it. I would love to... I hope there's no issues with it. He is back. That's good. I'm seeing a lot of communicating with online services. I think we're good to go to the end, but let's see if B-Tom can obliterate this fastest lap. He needs to get down to a 120 flat to beat the record. Silent from season 15 had a 120.094. If B-Tom can beat that, then he's got the TCR race lap record. And there it is. Not even close A 1:19.356, never even in the question. He's got the new TCR race lap record. I gotta do that. And that is a new record for B-Tom. A clean sweep. He's got the qualifying lap record for the day and the race lap record. Raikkonen gonna get a spot here. You know, Raikkonen, I really, you know, and I know you join us during qualifying, and that's fine, but if you're able to get laps in during qualifying, dude, like, you'll have a chance. Because this is not the first time this season Raikkonen has started at the back, and he's gained a lot of spots. And I think Capitan just had a slip up there. Andy Wu up to P6. Ooh, Andy Wu has a slip up, though. He goes in the grass. He gets in the grass again on corner entry there. Ooh, this has not been a good corner. Oh, man. That was not a good set of corners there for the Alpine. And El Capitan says, I'll take that right back. And Mahmoud looking for a P2. It would be his first P2 finish of the season. And that would be his career best finish, actually. And he's going to go to the inside of J&B. And Mahmoud has 2/3 on the year, looking for a P2. I think the only position left to get is a first. And, you know, I really, and look, like, I'm just going to be serious here. You know, I think Mahmoud, he's got a chance this season at winning a race. I'm just, you know, I'm not even, like, jokes aside, I really think he's got the pace this season to win a race. If not this season, then early next season, because he's really, he's a threat to win every week. He's a championship threat, and it'll happen. His first win will happen soon. And F1 Nerd trying to get back up in the points after his little disconnection. He is back in the lobby, but you notice he lost that spot to D-Swish. He's got a bit of a buffer, though, because D-Swish has more penalties than he has. So he could be on his way to getting a point for RB, which is good. Definitely might want to regroup, though, in the RB camp and just try and maybe sort things out before next week. But we enter the final lap. It has been a quick race, even with the safety car. That's how these races tend to go. And, oh, J&B. What happened there? Does he have a puncture? Oh, my goodness, he has a puncture, and he's in the wall. Holy smokes. 11 laps on the mediums, and he has a puncture and goes in the wall. Unbelievable. And this has put GTR Lion right up in the podium. Holy cow. With 2 laps to go. That is unbelievable, and what a heartbreak. I mean, he might not get points here. That's crazy. That's got huge championship implications, too. It just shows this race is not over until it's over. Now I totally understand why some of these guys did 2 stops. That's crazy. And now the question is, can Capitan get to the end? I think he's going to just coast here. At the front, B-Tom, what a race. He got the qualifying lap record, the race lap record, and he is going to win the race as well. 6th win of Season 20. B-Tom wins the Italian Grand Prix Round 7. Mahmoud to the finish line. Career best finish. P2 in the Italian Grand Prix. Mahmoud finishes P2. And GTR Lion, 2nd podium in a row. He finishes P3, just like the YouTube comments said earlier on. Airborne, nice debut for Season 20, P4 finish. Andy Wu, man, those Alpines showed up tonight. He's not going to finish in P5, though. Capitan P5, Raikkonen P6, Chargers P7, Andy Wu P8. Still, though, a solid run for those guys. Well, man, oh, man. How many penalties did he have? He does get a point. That's good at least. But J&B, no points. That's, wow. That's crazy. I mean, that's awful. You go from finishing on the podium possibly to not even getting points. So I guess we've learned that knocking on wood doesn't guarantee anything. You know, I had him on my podium prediction, and of course, you know. And B-Tom does his pose. I like that. Whoa, look at that floating podium there. That's cool. 6th win in 7 tries this season. Just unbelievable stuff. Oh, D-Swish, no! Oh, we're not going to get the results. Oh, I freaking said... I put out an announcement last week, too. Man. You guys will see what I'm talking about here in a second. Damn it. Oh, it did work. B-Tom, race winner, fastest lap, driver of the day, most overtakes, goes to Raikkonen. Let me explain. So, they must have did an update. When you leave the lobby before the results come up, you know, after the race finishes, that transition when they're showing the podium guys, if someone leaves during that time, I usually get a black screen. And it didn't have one this time around, so... You know, that's good. That's good, I guess. Maybe we had an update there. That's good, though. All right, we will get these guys in for a podium interview. I got B-Tom, I got Mahmood, and I got Lion. This should be a fun podium interview. If you guys have questions for these guys, by the way, feel free to send some in the chat. I'm curious. Yeah, well, Colby, you said you wanted to race, so, yeah. All right, let's get these guys in for a podium interview here. All right. We'll get these guys in just a second. If you guys have a question for these guys, feel free to ask away. And we got done at a pretty good time tonight, actually. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. That was a quick race, even with the safety car that we had early on. A quick race, a clean race for the most part, with a couple of incidents sprinkled in. The incident at the start with Colby and D-Swish, I'm curious if anything happens there from that. There was a bit of contact with them, too, around the midpoint race, spot in the race, and I don't think that was going to result in any penalties. It wasn't too malicious, but yeah, we'll see if these guys get in here. Oh, it looks like we got Lion here in the voice chat, so we'll start things off with Lion. Boy, you kind of got a podium there at the end after JMB had a puncture with 2 laps to go. I know it was going to be close with the penalties that he had, but in the end, you didn't have to sweat that final lap. So, yeah, must feel good. Two podiums in a row, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results, and I saw when he pitted, and I was like, I'm gonna catch him the last 2 laps, and because I know the mediums just like burn off like no tomorrow here. But I guess unfortunate for him, and sorry to hear that he got a puncture, but podium can complain. Good race. Kind of did the opposite of what B-Tom and Mahmood did, which at the end of the race, I guess it equalized somewhat. So I guess it wasn't a bad call to stay out.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw JMB have his puncture, because he only had 11 laps on his tires. You know, it's not like he was stretching them, trying to take them 15 laps or anything. So I was shocked when I saw that he couldn't make it to the end. But do you know how much?
11 is the puncture lap. 11 is the puncture lap. 10 is like the absolute limit, even if you're taking care of them. So
that's interesting. Wow. That just shows how much the tires wear here. That's crazy.
yeah.
Do you know how much your tires were at the end, percentage wise?
right below 70 or 70 on the horns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that...
And when I put it on the mediums, they were like 75-ish.
Mm. So that was probably... You were probably slipping and sliding there at the end a little bit, right?
Yeah, just lowered the diff and used no battery on exits and kind of managed to keep him alive.
I do have one final question for you. Kind of unrelated, but I'm curious. What do you think of the King of the Jungle nickname? Do you dig it?
I'm sorry?
Do you not know? The King of the Jungle, that's what I call you on stream.
Yeah, it's my, yeah.
You like it?
Sorry, yeah, absolutely. Breaking news, my Wi-Fi is called King of the Jungle.
Really?
Oh, I'll send you a screenshot.
Yeah, you should absolutely do that. That's super cool.
I have King of the Jungle, and I have Lion King, and I have the Gambinos.
That's awesome, man. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Good results. I'm happy with the results. You know, I'm happy to be back on the podium and looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Congrats on the podium, and hopefully I'm talking to you next week, right? That means you got a podium.
I'll do my best to be there.
All right. Let's move up the order to P2 Mahmood. For the third time this season, I am talking to you in my podium, and this is actually your career best finish, so congratulations. You did have the lead earlier on in the race, and you actually got it right before the safety car came out, so yeah, just how does it feel to get one step farther up the podium? You know, you only got one more step to go at this point.
Yes, hello. Congrats to Beatom and GTR Lion. I'm quite happy with the result. I think P2 is the maximum that I can achieve. I tried my best to drive cleanly, and I also tried to manage the tires around Monza. I think it's tricky, and the safety car came very early in the race, so I had to choose whether to take it to the flag with the hards and stick with the one stopper, or opt for the safe option with two stoppers. And I took the second option because, you know, it's a long shot to catch Beaton at the end, so I have to bring it home in one piece. So I decided to pit for mediums, and I got P2, so I'm quite happy with the result.
Yeah, you should be. P2, great result. You know, what I will say is B-Tom definitely had to pace this race, but you could definitely get a win at some point this season. If we have the craziness we saw in Australia, or even last week, you know, you could absolutely get on the top step of the podium one of these weeks. What about next week? How do we feel about Miami next week?
To be honest, I haven't driven Miami for a long time in this game. Pretty much, probably last time I drive it 2 months ago or something like that, so I need to practice for it. The thing with this week Monza, I did Monza on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, and even yesterday, so I have a plenty of practice for Monza, so I felt good also coming to this weekend. Also, I did a 100% race, 6 or 7 hours before this
Wow.
round, so I felt quite good around Monza, so I was happy with what I have achieved. But for next week, I don't know, to be honest. I need to put in the time to practice and see what happens.
That was my approach when I was racing in TCR. I would only practice at the track that TCR was at that week. I wasn't doing any other leagues, so if we had Monza this week, I would only touch Monza and just focus on Monza. That was just me personally, but I know you do other leagues, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, you must be. You're probably practicing all the time, aren't you?
And I try my best to practice for certain leagues. I cannot practice for all of them, but TCR one of them, of course. But the thing with this week, probably it's just a coincidence that it happened that so many leagues, they have also Monza for this week. So probably because it happens with the same real life GP. So it played out nicely for me. But the thing that I discovered, practice really is really important. It made quite the
Absolutely.
difference, especially in consistency. And consistency is key around any track, and especially in the race itself. Qualifying, you can manage it here and there, but race pace comes only with practice.
Yeah, yeah, you nailed it. I 100% agree. What I will say is, since this race is technically over now, you got Miami on your horizon, so start practicing.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
All right, man. Congrats on the podium.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. And we will go one step up further to B-Tom. 6 for 7 this season. You came really close to be 7 for 7, but nonetheless, man, you ended up putting the hards on at the end there, and there wasn't a lot of laps left. I was kind of surprised to see that. Was that on purpose? Were the mediums really that bad around here?
Well, originally I was planning on doing the one stop, and I knew if there was going to be a safety car, it'd probably be better to go in the hards if there was more than like 5 or 6 laps to go. So I went for the harder tire allocation. So I just didn't have a second set of mediums to use, but ideally I would have had a set of mediums to use for the last couple laps. But it didn't make too much difference in the end. Still got the fastest lap, so I think it was fairly well managed given the circumstances and what I knew going in. So, yeah.
So you got the race lap record. You also got the qualifying lap record, and you smoked it. A 117.5, which was a second up on the previous record. Any idea as to who had it previously?
I've got no idea.
It was Mebby back in season 12.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
That was what, 21?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, you had a clean sweep tonight. Both lap records, pole position, race win. It's been quite a good season for you. We're barely even halfway through, though. We just reached the halfway point this past week. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I guess, what do you think the rest of the season? Are you, do you think you can, do you think you can make it the rest of the season? I know there was possibly some issues with school this past week, but it seems like you've been getting home pretty quick, and maybe that's because you're practicing on the real roads for the TCR race.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been working on my laps. They usually get posted the day of, so I've got 2 gaps between classes during the day, so I try and get as much of the lap done then so I can get out early. And even then, like, it's still tight. Like, I only got home with maybe 5 minutes to spare. So not really a whole lot of time to get situated and boot up the game and everything, but it's been working so far, so I'll try and keep it up. Obviously, there's no guarantee I can manage it till the end of the season, but, I'll give it my best go.
Right on, man. Yeah, I think that's it for me right now. So congrats on the win. And, oh, by the way, it was you've reached 55 wins now. So you could get 60. I think 60 is on the horizon if you win from here on out. So maybe that can be your goal for the rest of the season.
Yeah. It's funny because I think this time last season, we were talking about me getting 40 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have gotten it.
You were 200 yards away. I'm sure Lion's not complaining though.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, today was a fun race. I mean, the tire wear around here is pretty insane. So, I think it was going to be tight. Like, if there were no safety cars between a one-stop or a two-stop. I think on yesterday I did the opening stint, managed to go 12 laps of the mediums, but, like, it was pretty sketchy. So, it's kind of a shame we didn't get to see how the race would have played out if not for the safety car, but I think it was still interesting with, some guys opting to stay out and others pitting. So, yeah, it was fun, and hopefully Miami goes well. It's probably my worst track on the game, so yeah. We'll
Interesting.
see.
Okay.
I
Cool.
don't think I've ever won there in TCR. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. So maybe.
So we raced there season 14. I remember I DNF'd season 14.
Wow.
I can't remember what other time we raced there, but I know it's not been good.
Season 17, and then I don't know about season 18. I know we raced there in season 17.
Yeah. I wasn't on the grid full time season 17, so I missed that one.
That's right. Yeah, well, that's a box you can check off, maybe.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Congrats on the podium. I do appreciate you guys doing this, taking the time, 5 to 10 minutes just to do this. It does add to the broadcast, so I appreciate you guys coming in here for a little bit. And yeah, congrats on the podium for each of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That will wrap it up for tonight, round 7 out of 12. Next week, we will be in Miami for round 8 out of 12. First time in a couple seasons that we have gone there, so that will be fun. But for now, we will be signing off. My name is Camden Luca, and we will see you next week in Miami. Have a good night.